A pleasant day. We will be discussing the topic about communicating with Filipinos. And to start with, what is culture?
According to Stringer and Cassidy 2009, culture is a system of thinking and acting that is taught by and reinforced by a group of people. Cultural groups teach their members certain sets of values with accompanying behaviors and communication preferences. As you can see here, culture is a system. Therefore, there is a set of rules, behaviors, embedded principles that we instill in our people. And take note that this is taught by and reinforced. So culture is adapted and is something that is socially inherited, something that is gotten from outside factors or outside forces. This is actually why dictionary meanings would tell you that culture includes the manners that are favored by a particular social group. It is all about the knowledge, the manner, values shared by a society, or culture is the attitude and behavior that are characteristics of a particular social group or organization. And this lead us to the point that we have cultural understanding. And this lead us to the point that we need to have cultural understanding because it is something that influences our personal preference in communication style and continues to influence our perception of others throughout our life. That is according to Hazlitt 1989. In this case, you have to understand where you're coming from as a group, as an organization, or as a society, or as a community. You have to understand and accept your background, where you grew up in, who you grew up with, and what are the characteristics, values, and manners that are in it. Because having cultural understanding is knowing you, and apart from knowing you, it is knowing others as well. Because when you know you can better relate to others. You have to start from understanding what's within you and what are factors influencing the person that is you before you can well relate to other people. Now let's proceed to the Filipino culture. The culture of the Philippines comprises a blend of traditional Filipino and Spanish Catholic traditions with the influences from America and other parts of Asia, like the Chinese culture. Filipinos are usually very warm and friendly people who enjoy conversing with those around them. It is common to find strangers engaging in conversation or sharing stories to family, friends, or foreigners about their hometown, family, or country. Filipinos are often expressive and sentimental while maintaining a light-hearted demeanor. Have you ever experienced when your parents or your mom requested you to get something, but she asks you through pointing out her mouth to an object, and you'll just stand by there at the corner, waiting for her to mention the exact same thing she's referring to? Or in some sort, I know everyone could relate, when you could see the glaring eyes of her after you went home late, when you had a failing grade, when you forgot to do your household chores, or when you violate something. We can always prove that an action speaks louder than words because after learning Filipino culture, let's proceed to Filipino communication style. Filipinos are fond of using nonverbal communication and less dependent on spoken words. They rely on their intuitive sense or pakiramdam in comprehending the message conveyed on a certain gestures. Verbal communication. Filipinos will try to communicate and express their ideas and opinions diplomatically and with humility to avoid appearing arrogant. The tone of voices varies widely by language, dialect, and region. The Ilonggos are very famous when it comes to this. Their hiligaynon and very sweet-toned voices. Have you not heard Ilonggos saying, "Kagwapa ka hinday ba?" Or, "Ginano mo ni man, makita talang yun ka mamanaan mo gid sa akon." Yet, giving you roaring tiger looks, but still sounds very sweet and angelic. Speech is often ambiguous, and Filipinos may speak in passive voice rather than active to avoid being perceived as speaking harshly. Filipinos may flatly say no or sige lang when responding to an invitation to save face and avoid hiya in the interaction. This means that when conversing with your Filipino counterpart, try to focus on hints of hesitation. Listen to what they say and also pay close attention to what they don't say. Respect. It is when speaking to elders or higher status, Filipinos use the polite forms of speech. They say po at the end of phrase or sentence. Like in many other Asian countries, people in the Philippines show their respect to the elder with certain gestures and honorifics they use before the person's name. Calling someone older than you by their first name is considered impolite or rude. Let's proceed to the greetings. How one greets is determined by the age and relationship of the people. People greet each other by saying, "Kamusta kayo?" When greeting strangers, a soft handshake accompanied with a smile is common among men. Among women, a smile and a hand wave is the usual greeting.
Filipino greetings with their close friends and families were accompanied by a handshake with a pat on the back. Among males and females hug and kiss each other as a sign of greetings. Let us proceed to the nonverbal communication, which is the most common type of communication Filipinos use. One of this is the physical contact among the relatives and friends of the same gender. It is common for the Filipinos to walk hand in hand or arm in arm. Discreet public display of affection are acceptable and common, but if you are in a rural and Muslim-dominated areas, be aware that they tend to be more conservative and public affection may not be acceptable. And when it comes to personal space, Filipinos, when interacting with people they are familiar with, they tend to prefer standing at an arm's length from one another. But when it comes to strangers, they stand farther. Laughter. Filipinos, as you notice, were always known for their bright smile and cheerful laughter. But Filipinos' laughter or smile have different meaning in different situations. Like in this clip from a pageant where any contestant masked her embarrassment by laughing because she can't answer the question completely since she was very nervous. And it was her first time to join the said pageant.
I told you that I'm so confident. Eto, wait. Sorry guys, because this was really my first pageant ever. Because I'm only 17 years old. And I did not expect.
Another one is pointing. As you notice, Filipinos do not use the fingers when pointing to someone or something. Instead, they use their lips to do so. People, especially foreigners, might misunderstand it into a kiss, but this was just Filipinos' way of pointing at things or direction. Gestures, particularly putting one hand on their hips, expresses anger. You can usually see parents doing this. This is their indirect way of saying that they're disappointed. Beckoning. The common way Filipinos use to invite someone is to gesture with the hand facing downwards and waving fingers towards oneself. Another one is when Filipinos want to call someone's attention. It is common for them to make a sound like psst. This is rude for the people who are not used to it. nodding and raising eyebrows with a smile, the more casual and quick way of Filipinos greeting each other and an acknowledgement that you saw that person. The most common situation was when you meet someone you know on streets and happen to pass by you. Instead of waving and saying hello, you can just flash a smile, raising eyebrows and nod to greet them. Silent looks. Filipino parents do this when they don't want to draw attention in the public when calling out their kids' mistake or improper behavior. This is a way to discipline their child without making such a big scene. You know you're doing something wrong when someone watches you like this, so you better behave. The next one is mano. Mano is a Spanish word for hand, while pa is a term used as a sign of respect. This is usually observed between younger people and elders. Younger people asking for the hand of the elders and placing the back of the hand on their forehead. This is done to show respect to the elders and a way of accepting blessings from them. This has been a tradition that has been preserved for generations. Arms extended while lowering head is a gesture commonly done when passing in front or in between two people, having conversations. This is always followed by an excuse me. This is also applicable when someone's watching a TV or a performance. This is a gesture of courtesy and respect. Lastly is a drawing of rectangular or square shape in the air using the hands. This gesture is commonly done by Filipinos in restaurants when asking for a menu or bill. It may look absurd to others, but Filipinos find it more convenient to do. Filipinos are generally wary of their actions and how they want to convey a message, either verbally or non-verbally. That's because in Filipino culture, people value self-respect, pakikisama or togetherness, and avoid offending anyone as much as possible. So that concludes our discussion for communicating with Filipinos. Hope you had a great day.